It's happened to so many people before. It went well, there was a lot of chemistry between you, the conversations went smoothly, and then suddenly there was a silence. You start to wonder why he ignores you. Did he actually like you? Did you get it wrong? Being ignored isn't really a nice feeling. Nobody's ever liked being ignored, especially when you have proof he's read all your messages. It's understandable that this is making you incredibly ferocious. Answering a message or even just saying he doesn't like you would be better than being ignored. Here's what to do when your boyfriend ignores you. If your boyfriend ignores you, the bottom line is that being ignored is so very confusing. You waste your time trying to figure out what went wrong and what you have to do to get it back. Whatever the reason, you have to know it to find out if you have to give him another chance or let him go. Below are some tips to know what to do if your boyfriend ignores you. Number 1, does he play games? Some people like to play games in relationships. They believe that this will make the other person yearn more for them. That's why some people won't respond if you were repetitive at first. They will ignore voicemails and even deliberately leave some questions unanswered. This is to destroy your self-confidence in the hope that you will become affectionate and needy. The feeling that they are needed and wanted gives their ego a boost. If your calls and messages remain unanswered and he has no valid reason to do so, he will play games with you and you should leave. What to do when your boyfriend plays games with you? If your boyfriend ignores you in the hope that he will conquer you by fooling around with your head, he is not the type you should be having a relationship with. Someone who can't admit that he has his eye on you and who takes forever to answer when you're messaging each other will only be a waste of time in the end. You shouldn't have to bother him at all. Instead of letting him destroy your self-confidence, leave him immediately when he ignores you for the first time. If he loves you, he won't play games with you. In addition, ask yourself what will eventually happen if he is already playing games with you when you are in a relationship. Number 2. Is he ignoring you because he is not sure? You may know that you like your boyfriend when you've just started dating, but he may still not know for sure how he feels about you. This usually happens when you're ready for a serious relationship, but he doesn't. It's okay to be in different stages of life, but it's not okay if he ignores you instead of honestly telling you why he thinks it won't work out between you guys. But don't pull the plug when he distances himself. Someone who is used to scrambling may need some time to adjust when he meets a woman who might be the one. That's exactly why a lot of men retreat at all. Being alone for a few days will help clear his head so he can decide whether or not he wants to have a serious relationship with you. Give him a chance and see what happens. Give him time to figure out what he wants and get back together when he's ready to talk about it. Number 3, does he want to take it easy? A new relationship involves euphoric feelings, especially if the feelings are strong. That's why you may realize too late that you want to go too fast. Even if he loves you, he may panic when he comes to his senses and he realizes that you want to go too fast. If you want to discuss the future of the relationship and you've been together barely a month, he might freak out. This could be why he ignores you or why your messages and calls go unanswered. He may want to slow down and get to know you before you start picking out Tupperware boxes and deciding how many puppies you want. However, not every man will do this. Some men will honestly let you know whether or not they want something serious with you. If he keeps you quiet instead of being honest about your concerns, he is emotionally immature. If he ignores you because the relationship is going way too fast, you can give him about 2 weeks to decide whether or not he wants to continue the relationship. You also need to slow down and process what your future will look like. Determine whether it's great to be his partner or whether you've been blinded by the initial phase of the relationship. The first time feels great because of the hormones and endorphins that are released in your brain because of the new relationship. In addition, maybe you haven't witnessed their dark side or you haven't had a fight yet. You then enjoy the bliss because you think there is nothing wrong with them. If you spend some time alone, you will know if he is the one or if you are just in love. If there are clear signs that there is no hope of a serious relationship in the near future, you need to talk about it and decide what to do next. Even if you do what is right for you, you may not feel well at first. Focus on self-love and remember that things will soon get better. Number 4. Is he ignoring you because he feels hurt? Men have a vulnerable ego, and that is one of the reasons why a man ignores you when he feels hurt. Everything might have seemed great until he started silencing you to death. By going back to the first case, you might find out what hurt him. Whatever caused it may not have seemed relevant to you, but it did upset him. If your boyfriend ignores you, you're probably right. If your boyfriend ignores you because he's upset, you can correct that by apologizing. Saying sorry can prevent the situation from getting completely out of hand. Even if it wasn't up to you, you should apologize to keep the peace. If you both let your ego get in the way of love, you both lose. It can be done in private or through a message. You just let him know that you care about his feelings and that it was never your intention to hurt him. Number 5. If he ignores you because it's over, your boyfriend may ignore you because it's over. This is one of the disadvantages of modern dating. People would rather ignore you than let you know it's over. It's no big deal to break up the relationship instead of trying to keep the lie that you still have a crush on them. When your boyfriend ignores you, instead of just saying right away that he no longer wants a relationship with you, you see it as a gift from heaven. You don't want your love life to be ruined by your boyfriend who is too emotionally immature to honestly say what he feels. Karma in love really exists, and if you don't want to go through that, you have to be honest right away when you realize that you don't like someone. In addition, you can find the true one faster if you remove that one man who ignores you from your life as quickly as possible. If your boyfriend ignores you, you have to ignore him as well. Relationships are complex, and no matter how many you've had, no relationship will be the same. In the end, you have to learn some tricks to get some men's attention. One of the clear signs that he's losing interest is that he seems distant, and if you've never had to deal with such a situation before, you might feel lost. Whether it's online dating or you've just been together for a month, you might be afraid to say something and drive him further away. You have to take a deep breath and slow down. Reacting too vehemently to get a man's attention is the wrong step, especially if it is clear that he has been ignoring you for some time. You may have heard from the woman who begged, became frantic, and sent 100 messages after she was ignored by your boyfriend, and you laugh until you are in the same situation and do the same things. However hard it is to ignore your boyfriend who ignores you, it is the perfect antidote. This is what you have to do when your boyfriend ignores you. Number 1. Ignore your need to react violently. Drawing hasty conclusions is a weakness many women possess. There may be nothing wrong at all, but if a piece of text doesn't contain an emoji of a heart, or you feel that it normally sends other messages, it may cause a violent reaction. However, make sure there is a real reason for you to worry before you decide to react violently. Often this will not be the case. When the right man comes along, you don't want to scare him away with your pettiness. You want him to see you as the one who doesn't worry about everything he says. Self-love can keep you from being obsessed with everything he does. If you ignore him too, he will wonder why you're not doing it, and it will make him fall for you harder. Number 2. Avoid overly emotional displays. Men and women do not experience emotions in the same way. That is why women should not show extreme emotions too quickly. Men take the time to find out everything and want to be sure that their feelings for you are real. If you want to, there is a good chance that you will lose them. If he retreats and you do the same, he will often come back to you because he will fall off the pedestal on which he had put himself as far as your love is concerned. Number 3. Put yourself first. You should not accept every invitation he sends at the last minute or answer his calls too quickly. However, you should not only pretend to be busy, you should also be really busy. Lead the life you want and take care of your own needs. Spend time with friends and family, and spend more time on your studies, work, interests, career plans and activities without involving him. Any relationship expert will tell you that's a good sign in any relationship. You should have your own life and not always go along with what he needs. Meeting each other is important, but it's not a good sign if you're always the only one doing this. Men are attracted to independent women who always have their lives in order. Number 4. Don't ignore your own wishes. You shouldn't be a spectator in your own life, no matter who you give relationship advice to. Even if you're dating online, you should plan car trips, go to the movies, or even go out to dinner with friends. If you're sure he'll like your plan, invite him. It is not a must that the man has to arrange everything. Don't cancel because he canceled. Say it's okay and make sure your friends come. He'll realize he's not the only important thing in your life and he'll make sure he doesn't lose you. Number 5. Be affectionate and then distant. If you keep ignoring a man, he won't feel like making contact. That's why you shouldn't want this. Be affectionate and distant to give him hope. If you've been cold for a while, you have to show him that there is a warm heart under that ice. Talk to him sometimes and show interest in what he tells you. It is important to give him attention every now and then, so that he becomes more eager to talk to you. Balance between giving him attention and ignoring him. Number 6. Make him jealous. Men are competitive, and if your boyfriend ignores you, it can be used against him. Sometimes jealousy wakes him up and he goes after you. If a man ignores you, it may be because he thinks he won't lose you. However, if it becomes clear that you might be conquered by someone else, he might be forced to take action. But be careful, because one of the reasons why your boyfriend may ignore you may be that it seems as if you are not interested in him. Showing too much interest in others may give him the idea that he can't get you, and then he'll leave you alone forever. That's why you have to find out the reason, because making him jealous can be counterproductive. Number 7. Do what he does. If your boyfriend ignores your messages, you should do the same. Don't even answer his calls. Forcing him, insisting on it, or calling him won't do anything. If a guy ignores your messages, it's not an invitation to send another messages after it. If he ignores you and messages you back later, you have to take your time before you answer. You will be a complex jigsaw puzzle that he is only too eager to solve. If he ignores you, but you're too available when he gets back to you, he'll feel he can do what he wants. Number 8. Talk to someone else. If you're wondering what to do if he ignores you, you can talk to someone else. It doesn't even have to be a new love. Even going out with friends can be useful, and you can vent your heart by now. If you talk about it with someone else, it won't be a huge problem anymore and you won't think about it. You can also contact several people to get ideas on how to deal with his ignoring behavior, but don't get traumatized. Number 9. Leave your phone. If you're used to having your phone with you, you should try to leave it for a few hours or a day. It's easy to become obsessed with the reason why he doesn't app you when your boyfriend ignores you. This confusion and frustration can create an unfamiliar situation. Don't let it get too obvious that it bothers you. If all your posts on social media are about ignoring a man, he knows you're talking about him. It won't benefit your case. Number 10. Find a new man. When your boyfriend ignores you, you ignore him and find a new one. Don't start a rebound relationship unconsciously. This is dangerous territory if you are still interested in the previous one. So if you think you can't get it done and stay sober, don't do it. Number 11. Stop his activities on social media. If your boyfriend ignores you, you have to ignore him to show him you're not too crazy about him. This may have been easier in the old days when communication was harder to achieve, but not in the age of social media. You may have been doing super well until he appeared on your Instagram or Snapchat feed and you collapsed. Blocking him may be a little too dramatic, but turning him off will ensure that his activity on social media doesn't keep appearing while you try to forget him. Number 12. Find a way to process your feelings. If your boyfriend ignores you, you have to ignore him too, but also find a way to process the feelings that this brings out in you. It will be frustrating and it can really easily drive you crazy. However, there is a healthy way to deal with the frustration and confusion. You can sing, write, draw, paint, jog, or do other things to help calm you down. Take your time before you react. Number 13. Put an end to it once and for all. If you think it's best for you, instead of sending him, "Hey," for the 100th time, you can write a short and direct message that you are no longer interested in him. This tells him that you are not willing to settle for less attention than you deserve. The sooner you do this, the sooner you can move on and find someone who will not ignore you without a good explanation from him. That's it, girls. I hope he stops ignoring you. We have a special guide. This guide will help you in getting his attention back. And if you want to try it, do check for the link in the description. What might be the reason for your boyfriend to ignore you? Tell us in the comment box. This is effective attraction. Please like, comment, subscribe us and hit that bell icon to get notification on our upcoming relationship videos.